300 feet underwater, completely cut off from the outside world, there's a store operating that would make any retail manager quit on the spot. No deliveries for 6 months. Customers who haven't seen sunlight in weeks. Inventory space smaller than your bedroom closet. And here's the kicker. It's one of the most successful retail operations in the entire US military. Right now, as you watch this video, there are dozens of these impossible stores operating beneath the ocean's surface, run by sailors who've mastered the art of selling candy bars while dodging torpedo tubes and managing inventory during emergency dive alerts. These aren't your typical corner stores. They're retail operations so bizarre, so challenging, and so essential that they redefine what's possible in American commerce. Today, we're going inside these crazy underwater stores where everything you know about retail gets thrown out the window, and American ingenuity creates shopping experiences that shouldn't exist but somehow thrive in the most impossible environment on Earth. If you're amazed by what our submariners accomplish in these impossible conditions, type "proud" in the comments below. The most insane retail challenge on Earth picture. Walking into a store where the ceiling is so low you have to duck, the aisles are narrower than airplane walkways, and the entire operation could flood at any moment. Welcome to submarine retail, where normal rules don't apply and crazy becomes the new normal. Inside a Virginia-class attack submarine, the ship's store occupies a space roughly the size of a large walk-in closet, maybe 6 feet by 8 feet if they're lucky. Yet this tiny space must stock everything 130 sailors need for 6 months underwater. Toothpaste, razors, snacks, batteries, reading materials, and personal care items all crammed into shelving systems that would make a magician jealous. The USS Hartford's retail services specialist, Petty Officer Sarah Martinez, describes her workspace as organized chaos with a side of impossible. Every inch serves multiple purposes. The cash register doubles as a writing desk. Storage boxes become makeshift seating. The inventory room is actually a repurposed equipment locker that she shares with emergency breathing apparatus. But here's where it gets truly crazy. This store never closes. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for months at a time. Martinez and her team serve customers who might be coming off 18-hour shifts, dealing with homesickness, or simply needing that one comfort item that makes life bearable hundreds of feet below the ocean's surface. When your store moves at 25 knots underwater, imagine trying to stock shelves while your entire store is traveling at 25 knots beneath the Atlantic Ocean. Items slide around. Customers grab onto door frames for balance during sharp turns. And sometimes, when the submarine performs emergency maneuvers, everything not properly secured becomes a projectile. During a recent deployment aboard the USS Virginia, the ship's store was serving customers when the submarine received orders for an emergency dive. Within seconds, the store went from normal operation to complete chaos. Candy bars flew across the tiny space. The cash drawer slammed shut. Customers grabbed whatever handholds they could find as the submarine angled sharply downward. Petty Officer 3rd Class James Chen, who witnessed the event, later said it was like watching a convenience store inside a washing machine. Yet within minutes of reaching the new depth, the retail services specialist had everything reorganized and was back to serving customers as if nothing had happened. That's submarine retail, where the impossible becomes routine. The submarine's movement creates constant challenges that landlubber store managers never face. Inventory must be secured against sudden movement in 3 dimensions. Display methods that work on land fail spectacularly when your store can suddenly tilt 30 degrees without warning. Every single item must be stored in ways that prevent it from becoming a hazard during normal submarine operations. The wildest inventory management system in America. Managing inventory on a submarine makes rocket science look simple. There's no calling the warehouse for emergency restocks, no delivery trucks, and absolutely no room for error. When the USS Michigan deployed for a 6-month patrol in 2023, Retail Services Specialist 1st Class Maria Rodriguez had to predict exactly what 155 sailors would need for half a year underwater. Her planning process reads like a combination of advanced mathematics and fortune-telling. How many razors will 155 men use in 6 months? What about when facial hair regulations require daily shaving? How do you calculate snack consumption when stress eating becomes a coping mechanism during extended underwater operations? Rodriguez spent weeks analyzing consumption patterns from previous deployments, consulting with the medical team about crew health trends, and even factoring in upcoming holidays that might affect morale and shopping patterns. The storage system itself defies logic. Rodriguez uses a complex numbering system where every item has multiple storage locations throughout the submarine. Toothpaste might be stored in 7 different compartments to prevent total loss if one area becomes inaccessible. Popular items get distributed throughout the submarine so customers can find them even when certain sections are closed off for maintenance or security reasons. But here's the truly crazy part. She tracks all of this without a traditional computerized inventory system. Salt air, humidity, and electromagnetic interference from the submarine systems make standard retail computers unreliable. Instead, Rodriguez uses a combination of waterproof logbooks, mental calculations, and a memory system that would impress any professional accountant. Customer service. While dodging torpedo tubes, serving customers on a submarine creates situations that no retail training manual could prepare anyone for. Picture trying to help someone find the right size batteries while stepping around a torpedo that's being moved for maintenance, or explaining why certain items are out of stock while the entire conversation happens in whispers because the submarine is operating in stealth mode. Petty Officer Rodriguez recalls one particularly challenging shift when she was serving customers during a missile loading operation. The store's entrance was partially blocked by equipment, forcing customers to crawl through a space barely large enough for a person. Yet sailors continued shopping, treating the obstacle course as just another part of submarine life. The customer base creates its own unique challenges. These aren't typical retail customers. They're highly trained military professionals dealing with the stress of extended underwater operations. They might be coming off watch shifts where they've been responsible for operating nuclear reactors or monitoring enemy communications. Their shopping needs reflect the psychological pressures of submarine duty. Personal hygiene items become critically important when you're sharing close quarters with 130 other people for months. Comfort foods take on special significance when they're the only connection to familiar tastes from home. Small luxury items like cologne or aftershave become morale boosters that can affect the entire crew's mental state. The loading nightmare that happens. Every port call. Getting merchandise onto a submarine transforms every port call into a logistical nightmare that would break civilian supply chains. The USS Columbia's recent resupply operation in Pearl Harbor demonstrates just how crazy this process becomes. Every single item destined for the ship's store must pass through a hatch opening barely large enough for a person. Imagine trying to stock a Walmart through a window, except that window is the only access point, and you have just 12 hours to load 6 months' worth of inventory. Sailors form human chains passing boxes hand to hand through the submarine's narrow passages. The loading priority system defies normal retail logic. Life safety equipment goes first, followed by food supplies, then operational necessities. The ship's store merchandise comes last, meaning Rodriguez and her team often have just hours to receive, inventory, and properly store hundreds of items throughout the submarine. During the Columbia's last resupply, Rodriguez received 247 different product types totaling over 3,000 individual items. Each item required inspection, logging, and placement in predetermined storage locations throughout the submarine. The team worked 16 straight hours to complete the process before the submarine's departure deadline. The space constraints create impossible choices. Popular items might have to be refused because there's simply no room to store them safely. Rodriguez maintains a priority list based on crew preferences, but sometimes she has to choose between stocking favorite snacks or essential personal care items. There's never enough space for everything the crew wants. Emergency retail operations that shouldn't be possible. Submarine retail operations continue even during emergency situations that would shut down any civilian store. During the USS Hartford's emergency surface evolution last year, the ship's store remained operational throughout the entire event, serving sailors who needed quick energy snacks during extended damage control operations. The retail services specialist, Petty Officer Martinez, describes maintaining operations during emergencies as controlled chaos with customer service. Emergency lighting casts strange shadows throughout the tiny store space. Sailors move with urgent purpose, grabbing energy bars or caffeine tablets while racing to emergency stations. Yet somehow, transactions continue. Inventory tracking remains accurate, and customer service standards never drop. One of the most challenging situations occurs during rig-for-red operations, when submarines switch to red lighting to preserve night vision. The entire store must operate under lighting conditions that make reading labels nearly impossible. Martinez has memorized the location and characteristics of every item in her inventory, allowing her to serve customers even when she can't clearly see the merchandise. During extended emergency operations, the ship's store becomes a critical support element for crew endurance. Energy drinks, protein bars, and caffeine tablets can mean the difference between effective response and crew exhaustion. Martinez stocks emergency rations specifically for these situations, treating the ship's store as an extension of the submarine's emergency preparedness systems. The psychology of shopping, 300 feet underwater. Shopping behavior changes dramatically when you're trapped underwater for months at a time. Dr. Michael Thompson, a Navy psychologist who studies submarine crew behavior, explains that the ship's store becomes far more than a retail operation. It's a psychological lifeline that maintains connection to normal life. Sailors develop shopping rituals that provide structure and comfort during the disorienting experience of extended underwater deployment. Some visit the store at the same time each day, creating routine in an environment where day and night lose meaning. Others use shopping as social interaction, treating the store as an informal gathering place where crew members can connect outside their normal duty stations. The merchandise takes on symbolic importance that goes far beyond its practical value. A favorite candy bar represents comfort and familiarity. A particular brand of shampoo maintains personal identity when everything else feels standardized and military. Small luxury items become treasured possessions that provide psychological comfort during stressful operations. Petty Officer Rodriguez has observed that shopping patterns change throughout deployment cycles. Early in deployment, sailors buy practical necessities and explore new products. Mid-deployment shopping focuses on comfort items and mood boosters. Near the end of deployment, sailors often stockpile favorite items, creating personal reserves that provide security as they prepare to return to the surface world. Technology meets impossibility in submarine retail. Modern submarine stores use technology that seems impossible given the constraints. Handheld scanners track inventory throughout the submarine's multiple storage locations. Electronic payment systems process transactions without traditional internet connectivity. Point-of-sale systems operate reliably despite electromagnetic interference from nuclear propulsion systems. The USS Virginia store uses a modified retail system originally designed for remote research stations in Antarctica. The system operates offline for months at a time, synchronizing with Navy financial networks only when the submarine surfaces and establishes communications. Every transaction is logged locally, creating detailed records that support both accountability and crew welfare programs. Inventory tracking involves GPS-like precision within the submarine's compartments. Each storage location has specific coordinates within the submarine's numbering system. Rodriguez can locate any item within minutes, even in complete darkness, using her understanding of the submarine's internal geography and her memorized inventory distribution system. The payment systems accommodate the unique challenges of submarine life. Cash transactions are minimized because currency storage and security become problematic during extended deployments. Electronic systems must function reliably despite the submarine's movement, electromagnetic environment, and power management requirements. When normal business rules don't apply. Standard retail practices become impossible on submarines, forcing creative solutions that redefine commercial operations. Return policies, for example, become meaningless when there's nowhere to return merchandise for 6 months. Instead, Rodriguez operates an informal exchange system where unsatisfied customers can trade items for alternatives from existing inventory. Pricing strategies reflect military values rather than profit maximization. Popular items aren't marked up despite captive market conditions. Essential personal care items are sold at cost to ensure affordability for junior sailors supporting families on limited military pay. The goal isn't profit generation, but crew welfare and morale maintenance. Customer service extends far beyond simple transactions. Rodriguez serves as informal counselor, helping homesick sailors choose comfort items that might ease their stress. She remembers individual preferences, suggesting products that might help sailors cope with specific challenges. Her role combines retail expertise with understanding of submarine psychology and crew dynamics. Supplier relationships operate on trust and long-term contracts rather than competitive bidding. Vendors must understand the unique requirements of submarine retail, including packaging constraints, shelf life considerations, and the impossibility of returns or exchanges. The Navy Exchange Service Command maintains relationships with suppliers who specialize in extreme environment retail operations. The hidden economic impact of underwater commerce. Submarine ship stores generate surprising economic activity despite their modest size and remote operations. The USS Ohio's store averaged $180,000 in annual sales during recent deployment cycles, demonstrating significant purchasing power within the confined submarine environment. These sales figures translate directly into crew welfare programs. Profits fund recreational activities, special events, and quality-of-life improvements throughout the submarine. Movie nights, special meals, and recreational equipment purchases all depend on ship store profits, creating a positive feedback loop where crew spending enhances their own deployment experience. The economic model reflects military priorities rather than civilian retail standards. Break-even operations are considered successful if they maintain crew morale and welfare. Profit generation matters less than service availability and product quality. This approach demonstrates institutional commitment to crew care that extends beyond basic operational requirements. Individual spending patterns reveal the psychological value of retail availability. Sailors often spend money not from necessity but from the psychological comfort of having choice and control in an environment where both are severely limited. The ability to make personal purchasing decisions provides mental relief from the rigid structure of military submarine operations. Training the impossible, creating submarine retail specialists, creating effective submarine retail services. Specialists requires training that no civilian institution could provide. The Naval Technical Training Center in Meridian, Mississippi operates specialized programs that combine traditional retail education with submarine-specific challenges. Training scenarios include inventory management in simulated submarine compartments, customer service during emergency drills, and cash handling during simulated combat operations. Students learn to memorize product locations, operate in confined spaces, and maintain professional standards while dealing with their own deployment stresses. The psychological preparation proves as important as technical training. Future specialists learn to recognize signs of crew stress and depression, understanding their role as informal mental health support providers. They study submarine culture, learning the unwritten rules that govern behavior in confined spaces and the importance of their operations to overall crew welfare. Physical fitness requirements reflect the demanding nature of submarine retail operations. Specialists must be able to move quickly through narrow passages while carrying inventory, work extended hours during loading operations, and maintain alertness during emergency situations. The training program eliminates candidates who can't handle the physical and mental pressures of submarine duty. Success stories from the deep. The USS Louisiana's ship's store achieved legendary status throughout the submarine force for innovations that improved crew welfare during a challenging 2023 deployment. Retail Services Specialist Second Class Jennifer Walsh created a comfort package program where crew members could pre-order personalized selections of items for delivery during specific weeks of deployment. Walsh's innovation addressed the psychological challenges of long-term underwater operations by providing sailors with something to anticipate during difficult periods. Crew members could order favorite snacks, personal care items, or small luxury products for delivery during homesick periods or after particularly stressful operations. The program's success led to adoption throughout the submarine force, demonstrating how individual innovation in impossible circumstances can benefit thousands of sailors. Walsh received commendation for her creative problem-solving and dedication to crew welfare, proving that excellence in submarine retail operations earns recognition at the highest levels of Navy leadership. The USS Michigan store established records for inventory efficiency during a 2024 deployment, maintaining 99.2% availability of essential items throughout a 6-month patrol. Retail Services Specialist First Class David Park achieved this success through meticulous planning, creative storage solutions, and exceptional understanding of crew consumption patterns. The future of impossible retail. Advancing submarine technology creates new opportunities and challenges for onboard retail operations. Next-generation submarines will offer slightly more space, but significantly more advanced systems that require new approaches to inventory management and customer service. Automated inventory systems under development could revolutionize submarine retail operations by tracking items electronically and predicting consumption patterns with artificial intelligence. However, these systems must operate reliably in the challenging submarine environment while maintaining the personal touch that makes current operations successful. Virtual reality shopping experiences might allow submariners to visit civilian stores during extended deployments, providing psychological relief while enabling advance ordering for next port call pickup. These innovations could help address the isolation and disconnection that affect crew mental health during extended underwater operations. The fundamental challenge remains unchanged, providing excellent retail service in impossible conditions while supporting crew welfare and mission readiness. Future innovations must enhance, rather than replace, the personal relationships and creative problem-solving that make current submarine stores successful. Why? These crazy stores matter more than you think. Submarine ship stores represent something uniquely American about our approach to military service. While other navies might consider such operations unnecessary luxuries, the U.S. Navy understands that maintaining crew welfare and morale directly impacts mission effectiveness and operational readiness. These impossible retail operations demonstrate American values in action: taking care of our people, solving problems creatively, and maintaining high standards regardless of circumstances. They prove that even in the most constrained environments, American ingenuity finds ways to improve quality of life and human dignity. The success of submarine retail operations influences broader military policy and civilian applications. Space optimization techniques, inventory management innovations, and customer service approaches developed for submarines benefit other extreme environment operations, from Antarctic research stations to space exploration missions. Most importantly, these stores represent our commitment to the brave volunteers who operate America's submarine force. They demonstrate that supporting our military extends beyond providing equipment and training to ensuring that service members maintain connection to normal life even in the most extraordinary circumstances. The incredible reality of American submarine retail. The crazy stores operating on American submarines prove that impossibility is just another challenge to overcome. 300 feet underwater, completely cut off from normal supply chains, dealing with space constraints that would defeat any civilian retailer, our sailors create and maintain retail operations that shouldn't exist but somehow thrive. These operations succeed because they embody the best of American military culture: innovation under pressure, dedication to excellence, and unwavering commitment to taking care of our people. They demonstrate that even the smallest details matter when supporting those who voluntarily undertake the most challenging duty our nation asks of anyone. Every transaction in these underwater stores represents a small victory against the isolation and stress of submarine operations. Every successfully managed inventory challenge proves American ingenuity can overcome any obstacle. Every satisfied customer represents our commitment to maintaining the welfare and morale of those who defend our nation beneath the waves. The next time you think about the dedication and sacrifice of our submarine force, remember that even 3 feet underwater, American determination finds ways to create the impossible. These crazy stores prove that with enough creativity, dedication, and care for our people, there's no challenge too great and no space too small to provide excellent service to those who serve our nation with such distinction. That's the incredible reality of America's submarine ship stores, where impossible becomes routine, and our sailors prove every day that American ingenuity truly knows no bounds. If this story amazed you as much as these operations amaze everyone who learns about them, hit that like button and subscribe for more incredible stories about the extraordinary people who serve our nation in the most extraordinary ways.